Hi guys, so today I will explain every dark world in under a minute. Let's not waste any time, so shall we get started? So let's start off with chapter 1's dark worlds. Yes, you heard me right, there are more than one dark world. The first one is a castle town located in the supply closet. This is where Ralsei was staying waiting for the two heroes of the prophecy to show up, which if you don't know already are Susie and Chris. Castle town is pretty empty for now, so let's move on to the card kingdom. We enter the card kingdom through the great door in Castle Town, which is most likely a spare door connecting the supply closet and the spare classroom. This world seems to be a medieval society with 3 kings until the knight showed up imprisoning every king apart from the Spade King. The king's son Lancer acts like the antagonist, but is terrible at acting like it. The kingdom is split into 4 different areas, that being the Field of Hopes and Dreams, the Great Board, the Scarlet Forest, and the Card Castle. The Dark World is based off board games and cards because the spare classroom is filled with them. Now let's move on to chapter 2. Let's begin with Castle Town. In chapter 1 it was an empty town with only Ralsei living in there, but now all the Darkners have moved in due to the Dark Fountain being sealed, and after every chapter all the Darkners move in if you recruit them. Cyber World is themed around the internet with many Darkners representing online entities or concepts such as Spamton being based on spam mail. This whole dark world resides in the computer lab in the library, and Noelle, Birdley, us, and Susie, because we were studying the group project with Noelle and Birdley arriving before us and Susie. This dark world has many areas, but the most significant are the Cyber Field, the Cyber City, the Cyber Heights, and the Queen's Mansion, also known as Pandora Palace. The villain of this dark world is Queen, whose intentions are to capture the Lightners, bring world domination through an empire, making multiple dark worlds, which she doesn't know will cause the roaring, as she is just copying what the Knight will do. Moving on, we have chapter 3. Now this chapter's dark world is inside Chris's house, because if you don't remember, at the end of chapter 2 Chris made a dark world after taking our soul out. Many people were disappointed because this dark world was a TV show, not TV themed, but this is because Tenna built over the original dark world and made the Darkners his employees. Most of the chapter is spent in the game boards, so there are less main areas unlike the other chapters, but either way I will say them anyway. The Green Room, Golden Sand, TV World. In that cold snowy area I can't think of a name, and I think in the dark world it's the AC. The villain of the chapter is Mr. Antenna, and by the start he seems like a goofy and friendly TV host, but by the end his intentions are revealed, as he's working with the Roaring Knight, with his job being to stall the fun gang's time so the fountain can be sealed and keep Toriel asleep until the Knight shows up and kidnaps Toriel. This chapter until the end gives off more of a safe feeling and environment. Let's move on to chapter 4, which will be the final chapter for this video. This chapter has a whopping 3 dark worlds, so let's dive into the first one. This dark world feels more mysterious and unsettling from the very beginning, and it's located in the church, giving it a more somber atmosphere, but also shows the actual prophecy, making Ralsei act stranger and making Chris and Susie be curious. The second dark world was made by Susie because Gerson was revived as a Darkner, but he can't be revived in her dark world or Castle Town, as Darkners patterned after the memory of a loved one only tend to appear in very specific darkness. The third dark world was made by probably the knight, and is made in the hall of the church where church service is held, with it sharing similarities with Susie's dark world, with them being more aggressive versions of the previous dark world, with this dark world being where the knight causes the roaring and thus making a titan.